Okay guys, when you put your case back together, the crankshaft has to go in first. Now, this tension arm here, there's a pin and a cotter pin. This goes onto the crankshaft. And your timing chain, so this little section here, your chain has to go on both sides of that. Okay, now your transmission gears. First of all, I'm missing a 15mm washer, which I ordered, that goes on the end of this. So let's take this off. Now, these are held in place by C-clips, okay? And if this is a little rough, you can always sand this with some 2,000 to 4,000 grit sandpaper. Mine's pretty good. This piece here, this gear goes on like that. You know, that way there, when it closes, it'll grip onto that like that. Then you have this collar that goes on, and this gear goes on like that. Now, the other part of the transmission, first I want to tell you is on the bottom here goes a 15mm washer. Now if you notice, I broke a tooth, which I ordered one of these. When I flipped the motorcycle in second before, I thought I heard something break, and that's what I broke. So I have one of these on the way. Now all this, nothing comes off here. Now if you notice on the inside of here, you have a spleened washer. Once again, that goes on like that. This gear is the same on both sides. That goes on, and then your washer goes on like that. So let's put this on the inside of the engine. I got my dogs here, my huskies here is on everything. Hold on, let me, oh, you know what, I'm not going to grease that up. I think that's okay like that. Get that on. Now I took this one off, and I took this off. Now we're getting this, I believe this is called the main shaft. All the gears are staying on this while we install it inside of here. Having a little bit of trouble getting this guy in there. Okay, that's in. Now we'll put this one here in. And then don't forget this collar. Collar tried vanishing on me, guys. Nothing takes an in my favor bounce, by the way. That goes on like that. And then with this side to the engine goes on like that. And then you got your shift drum. Now let me show you the forks. The forks go in a certain place. There's only one way the forks go in. Okay, now if you notice, they might look the same, but they're not. This is smaller than this one here. This goes on the bottom. So this fork here, your very last, see, and you could test these too to see what gears these fit on. Like it'll fit on this one, but it's too small to go on that one and to go on that one. So this goes on your main shaft. Now we'll put, if I can find it, we'll put this on just for a reference. That way you guys can see how this will go. We won't put that on just yet. See, it can't go in like that, so it has to go in like that. And that lines up with that hole where this pin will go. Then you have the second one. Now these are both the same opening. Tell you the truth, I forgot where they go, so we're going to have to see if they line up good. If that'll line up good. Now there are pictures in the manual that they give you a decent idea, but they don't really help that much. Okay, let's slide this in. Now the last one, see, if you put it in like that, it won't work. So it has to go in just like that. And that lines up. Now it's good that you oil this pin. Mine's not oiled. So we're going to push it down. Hold on, guys. Okay, since they all fell out, we're going to do that again. The reason why I start with the bottom is to get this one here out of the way. See, that won't fit there. The only one it'll fit on is this shaft here. It won't go in like that, so it has to go in just like that. Or you know what, I'm wrong. It doesn't go in like that. It goes in like this. It only goes in one way. It will not go in any other way. So now we'll hold that. See, that won't go in like that. And then last but not least, then you get your pin, which I oiled up. Then you have to twist this a little bit. Make sure she goes in. And that's how they're all lined up. Then now your shift drum, those little, I call them fingers, they have to go in. You only have 3 grooves in this, in your shift drum. You have 1, 2, 3 grooves. When this turns, it moves these up and down, and it allows you to shift into all 5 gears and neutral. Now let me see here if we can get that in. We may have to put the shift drum in first. Okay, we put the shift drum in. The shift drum, I put a little bit of grease on the end of it. Now your neutral switch is this little blade right here. I'm going to leave mine in neutral. That's where I want it when I start the engine. So we're putting that on the neutral sensor, which is inside the engine there. You'll see there's like a little tab where that blade has to line up. Now we're going to try this. I never tried this before. I left all these on the pin. So we're going to see if we can get it on like this. Or you know what? I'll bet you that's not going to work like that. Let me see if I can just put it in like I had it before. Okay, that's the bottom one. Now the bottom one lines right up with that one groove. Second one. Let's see here, guys. Okay, this goes in here. And then your last but not least, your last one. Wait, let's see. I don't think we put that in our grooves, did we? Okay. That's nice and lined up. That went in the second groove in the shift drum. Now your last shift fork. Lift it up a little bit. Now you get your pin. Don't hammer these in either. Now, if yours has burrs on it, you can sand these down with ultra fine sandpaper, like 2000 or even 4,000 grit sandpaper. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me hit mine a little bit. Okay, I sanded mine down with 2,000 grit a little bit. So the reason why you're going to make sure these are super smooth, if you have any nicks in this at all, your motorcycle won't shift good. May not shift at all. Okay, we got in the second one. Got it in the last one. And then this has to seat in the hole inside your case. I think we got it, guys. Okay, now take a good look how these are going in here. She's getting heavy. So basically, when this turns, see how it moves your gears? That's why sometimes your motorcycle won't go into like second or third unless the engine is running, because these have to turn. So let's put this down. We'll turn her a little bit. I'll get my shabby jacket out of the way. And that's the ticket, guys. Now I'm going to put it back in neutral. It's probably in fifth right now. Let's see, are we in neutral yet? Yeah, that's neutral right there. Now what I'm going to do before I seal this up, I'm coating these with grease real good. I'm actually using wheel bearing grease. You don't have to, but that's what I do. But this is the way the Honda Rebel 250 transmission goes in. I'm almost 100% sure that these forks are all in their proper places, because there's only one way these go in, guys. They don't go in 2 or 3 ways. There's only one way to go in. What I messed up on is I had this up here. Okay, that's what I messed up on. I had that up there. Meanwhile, this is supposed to go here. It's actually supposed to go in like that. And then on the end of this, there's supposed to be a 15mm washer, which I must have lost it when I originally took this engine apart. But I did send away for that. And I also sent away for the second gear, which I chipped. So all this got to basically come back out once my gear comes in. Well, I'll leave it like this until my parts come in. Then I'll take all this back out. I'll put my new second gear in and my 15mm washer here. And then we can finally seal the engine up once and for all. But this is the only video that exists of putting this transmission together. So take another good look. Your manual does show good images, but it's not the same as someone doing it. And giving you these tips about the shift forks can only go in one location, because the shift fork that goes on this shaft here is a smaller size than the two shift forks that go here. And these two here can only go in one location. But that's why I like to start by putting the shift fork on here first, and then you put these on. So remember, your crankshaft has to go in first. Then you put this in. You have to take this gear off. The next one has to come off. Then you put this in. You put those two gears in. Then you can try to get your shift forks in. This shift drum has to go in first before your shift forks, because it has to go in these 3 grooves here. Okay.